What is up, ladies and boys and girls, and welcome back to the video Axe Entertainment. I am your host, Zack Axe, bringing an edition of WWE Weekly Awards. This one is for September 29th to October 3rd. Now, this is a week in wrestling where overall I feel like NXT was better, which I feel like has been the case and will continue to be the case until this TNA NXT stuff is over, because it's definitely been more entertaining over there than it has on the main roster. But let's get right into the awards. Let me just say real quick, I'm sorry this is coming out extremely late compared to my usual schedule. It's been a little bit hectic. I appreciate you guys though. Let's get into the awards. First, what I'm going to give out is Female MVP, and for Female MVP, I'm going to give honorable mention to Jada Parker for defeating Lash Legend on NXT, and to Lola Vice for defeating Fallon Henley on NXT also. But I'm going to give this award to Raquel Rodriguez. She was able to knock off Bayley on Monday Night Raw, and I think Bayley, even though right now is a little weird, I think beating someone with the caliber of Bayley is going to easily get you the award, even if I don't think it was the right decision, because I feel like letting Lyra and Bayley, who were just kind of the most interesting things in the women's division not too long ago, especially Lyra, and now they're losing back and forth to the Judgment Day, I think is a little bit weird, but we got to recognize where it's due and give Raquel the award. And we're actually going to male MVP right after, because I'm also giving male MVP to a person that I don't think's ever won it before, and I didn't think I'd ever give it to. So honorable mentions for male MVP is going to go to LA Knight, Sami Zayn, Miles Bourne, all for winning their respective matches. Sami was almost able to win for defeating Aleister Black in the U.S. title match. But I'm going to give the award to Dirty Dom Mysterio. I kind of measured Sami versus Dom against each other because they both defended their championships against the two guys that returned on the week after WrestleMania, and Rusev and Aleister Black. And I think the win over Rusev right now is kind of more impressive, even though both men have been looking pretty good recently. So I give the award to Dominic. Also, it was a pretty entertaining match. He ended up cheating. It was a very clever way of winning the match for Dominic. I wanted Rusev to win, but I didn't see it happening, so Dominic's going to win male MVP. Next, we're going to do Match of the Week. For Match of the Week, honorable mentions, I'm going to give it to the Usos versus The Vision on Monday Night Raw. And I'm going to give honorable mention to Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black on Friday Night Smackdown. But I'm going to give this award to an NXT match. Leon Slater came over from TNA and teamed with Javon Evans to take on the team of the Culling. And it was actually a very entertaining match. It's kind of weird to me because I just thought about it for the first time in a while, but Shawn Spears is getting up there in age, and he's still in NXT, so hopefully he can come to the roster and do some more things before he has to retire. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that these guys all looked great. I think Nico was definitely the worst part of this match because I think he's still definitely green, and I think the more he works, the better he'll get. But overall, the other guys looked amazing. Leon and Javon is such a cool team, and they're going to be actually against each other coming up next week on NXT, which probably has already happened by the time this video comes out. But the team of Javon and Leon Slater was so cool. They're both very young, athletic guys, so having them team up to take on the Culling was very entertaining. And even for a throwaway one-off match, it was very entertaining, and it's going to win Match of the Week. For Promo of the Week, I'm going to have honorable mentions to just everybody that was at the NXT versus TNA Summit. Everybody was kind of getting their licks and shots, and especially Mike Santana, Ricky, Trick, JC, Kalani. So they all kind of get an honorable mention right here, but I'm going to give it to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins' promo on Monday Night Raw. These two storyline it writes itself. Ever since Cody Rhodes came back, Seth Rollins has been one of his biggest opponents, and they kind of just elaborated on it again here. These two, every time they're in the ring, they end up having great promos together, and they might have even won this award last week. I'm not 100% sure, but if they did, they're winning it 2 weeks in a row for their great promos back-to-back weeks. And finally, for Team of the Week, I'm going to have honorable mentions to the team of AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, the Usos, Zaruka, and Rey Fenix and Javon Evans, all for having great matches, all for having great wins. But I'm going to give this award to The Vision. The Vision were able to have a great match against the Usos on Monday Night Raw, which they most likely would have won if it wasn't for Roman Reigns coming out. And then they beat the team of Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes on Friday Night SmackDown. That's absolutely insane team to just knock off. Those are two of the biggest names in wrestling today, and The Vision was able to beat them. And then, of course, they lost to the Usos because of Roman Reigns, but they still had two great matches, able to knock off the WWE champion and a legend in Randy Orton, and have an entertaining match both times. I'm stuttering a lot right now. And they would have an entertaining match both times, so they're pretty much easily walking away with this award. Not a lot of discussion time today. I just have a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, I talked about it a little bit, but Bayley's gimmick is awful. This schizophrenic gimmick is terrible, and I just don't see where you're going to go from this, because this gimmick is just awful, and it locks Bayley in this weird thing that she's going to have to do every time that she wrestles. and it's just, this gimmick is terrible. I just want to get rid of it already. I'm really sick of it. Every time like anybody involved in the storyline pops up on my screen, I just get like depressed that I have to now watch it, and it's just annoying. Like, Bayley is so much better than this freaking gimmick, because I was starting to really like Bayley, and this gimmick is just taking all that away. Anyways, then the last thing I want to talk about real quick is just Oba Femi not appearing on NXT recently after he lost the NXT Championship to Ricky Williams. After he lost the title to Ricky Saints at NXT No Mercy, and he didn't appear. I said in my last week's video that I thought he was going to stay there until we had this NXT versus TNA thing, but he just up and disappeared, and I think he's very likely to just show up on the main roster sooner or later, because I think he's fully ready. His promos are great, his in-ring's great, everything about Oba is great and ready for the main roster, and he's already held both the singles titles on NXT, so apart from him being put in a tag team or winning the TNA title, he's done everything he can do down there. But speaking of the TNA title, am I tripping? Like, didn't Ava not say last week that we had to have a winner between Oba and Trick? But then, and if Ricky won, we was going to end up being Ricky versus Trick. We had to have a winner. We had to have somebody holding the NXT and TNA championship. But then this week, it looked like they just completely forgot that they were doing that. Put Trick and Ricky on the same team, and just completely forgot that we were doing that in the first place. So that's just like, maybe I misheard her, but 100% I heard her say that we have to have a winner between these two, so they're gonna have a rematch sometime down the line, and we're just not getting it apparently. So it's just really weird what they're doing. But I'm super excited for NXT versus TNA. That's happening actually tonight, so I'm really excited to watch that. And then Raw's already passed, so I'm sorry this is gonna be a really late video for you guys. I'm also gonna get NXT No Mercy out, still extremely late. I'm sorry again, it's been a hectic week. If you're a fan of me on here, you might be a fan of me on TikTok, go over to Axe Entertainment on TikTok. We're doing ranking wrestlers videos right now, so I think you guys would really enjoy that. Besides that, leave a like for me on the video, comment if I gave any awards to the wrong person, subscribe while you're down there. Don't forget to ring the bell if you want to be notified whenever I drop a video like this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
This happened if I had real tough love, I'm bad at this, and I'm bad for this.
Narcissistic tendencies, I don't care about no one else. Narcissistic tendencies, I'm low, so set me on the shelf. Few people ever have my back, yeah, there ain't no doubt about that.
If you're a fan of me on here, you might be a fan of me on TikTok, go over to TikTok.com. If you're a fan of me on here, you might be a fan of me over on TikTok. Go to Axe Entertainment's link in the description. Oh my fuck.